incredibly excited because I know that you are an awesome individual who's doing some great things on the local level in Michigan. And given that you just wrote your new book, you're going to take this global, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited, but nervous at the same time. Just hearing I have an ebook is insane. Insane. I can't even believe it myself. So I'm still, oh my God, I just got excited all over again.
All right, awesome. So let's just give our listeners a little bit of background about you. You know, how did Jasmine become the woman that you are today? How did you get here?
Well, Jasmine, when I first started, I've always been the arts. I started out dancing my whole entire life. I stopped right after college. I sometimes help my church here and there.
Yes.
And then I got my first job. I wasn't supposed to get a job. I didn't listen to my parents, but I wanted to work so bad in retail. And then I worked myself up in the retail business. I started at Old Navy, and then I went to Forever 21 and I became a store manager there. So that's where my love of people, managing, being a teacher, also growing in the retail field of fashion, fast fashion, and was able to like keep updated. I loved it. It was so fast paced. But then when I started working there, I ventured off into baking, and my daughter was born, and she was so quiet and so precious, and I was bored. So one day I decided to make a cake. So when I made it, it was terrible. It was so ugly. At that moment, I said, I'm going to try and make a pretty cake. And I'm just going to try the best I can, watch videos, do tutorials. And that's when my love for baking came. I posted a picture, had my daughter's first birthday, and it went from there. People started buying stuff for me and just engaging in my product. And I haven't looked back. And I end up leaving Forever 21 as a store manager after 12 years. Because it was just too much. So I had to let one go, and I decided to go with baking. And it was probably the best decision I've ever made.
Wow. So you accidentally found your true calling.
Absolutely. And I can tell you right now, my mom, we survived on 5 meals that she rotated. Besides going out to eat, you know, my grandma, I remember her doing some baking when I was a little girl, but no, I just decided to pick up a recipe one day, and that's it. So a lot of people always ask, like, did you come from your family or anything? No, it did not. My mom always says, I don't know where she got this from. So it just fell in my lap.
That is absolutely awesome. I think, you know, within every one of us, we know how to build competencies. We know how to build skills. And as you mentioned, you tapped into some videos, nothing like YouTube to get you started, right?
Right. And that could be a scary monster.
So what's a common belief about what you're doing as an author, as a baker, that you would like to dispel right away?
It's all passion first.
Yes.
Learn your clients, learn to build your wealth in your business. Because I think this goes for every single company or entrepreneur. When you first start, you're just trying to cater to people's needs, and you don't think about how much you're really worth. And I had to learn that. Making cakes is not a huge money maker, but it can be. But you have to learn that from the beginning, learning how much all your product is, learning what your worth is. You know, we want to be at $15 an hour, right? But then we only charge ourselves $8 an hour. So what does that look like? So I would say learn your wealth and learn the profit of what your product, of what you're selling or what your business is doing, so you could accumulate that. So you don't feel like you're chasing your tail. You want to feel like you're profiting as well.
What did it feel like when you got your first customer, your 10th customer, and your 20th customer?
These people are crazy. Still from this day, when I make something, I'm in disbelief that this has actually happened to me, that I created a business out of this. The first time it was a family member, but I still was like, you're crazy, that you want me, but they saw the potential in what I was doing. And the 10th customer, of course, I was more comfortable then.
Yes.
After that felt like good, but I was still like, oh my goodness, like they're buying something from me. And now I appreciate every single customer, even today, because they're trusting me with their party, right? When you go to a party, what's the first thing you go look for? The food and the dessert.
Yes.
So that's the first thing they're seeing when they walk in the door. So I'm always, and I'm going to be honest with you, no matter what, I always am anxious with every single order. Like, do they like the flavor? Are they going to like how it looks? So that's still there a little bit, even though I have confidence. But it's because that's the first thing people look at as soon as they walk in the door.
What fascinates you about food?
Oh, everything. I love the presentation of food, the taste, the different. Food is art. You know, when you put different combinations together, and it creates memories for people. You know, when you think back when you're little, you think of stuff your mom made. Even till today, if you smell it, you go back to that memory. So I could say that's what I like most about food: the presentation, the memory of it, and just flavors all together. I've always been a foodie. Even though I wasn't into food, I had to like grow into it. But once I started learning about it and reading about it, it captivated me even more.
I love what you said. Food is art. And of course, the taste, no matter if it looks ugly, if it tastes good, you're going to still eat it, right?
Yes, I'm that friend that forces you to try anything. I'm like, just try it, just try it. Even though you say no, I'm like, just try it. Trust me.
So, tell us a little bit more about how you grow and scale your company to what it is today.
I would say take my time. As an entrepreneur, you always wish that you were somewhere, right, along the line. But you learn you have to perfect each and every single step of the way.
Yes.
Creating J. Carmel's, I had to perfect the actual recipe first. What's the taste? What does my customer like? What do customers purchase more? Do they like the cakes? Do they like the cookies? At the beginning, I made everything to try and please everybody, but then I had to sit back because I was running myself dry. I had to look back and see exactly what are people buying. Okay, so they're buying more of a custom cake. Oh, they like the traditional cake, so that's what I'm going to put on the menu. Oh, they like the cookies, I'm going to put cookies as well. So therefore, I'm going to perfect these three things: a custom cake, a traditional cake, and the cookies. And I may do 3 or 4 different flavors in those, and that's it. If somebody asks for something more, I can't be upset and think, oh, money just left the door. No, let me perfect this first, and then I can navigate to the next thing. And once I perfected it and navigate to the next thing, then it was like, okay, let me start perfecting taking pictures, because that's the marketing part of it. People want to see your product. If people can't see it, how will they know what you're selling, right?
Yeah.
So taking the pictures, and that's what got me in trouble. Once I posted the pictures, that's when the business started coming. I'm like, hold on, wait, I'm not ready yet. But that helped market the business. And then I realized when people like seeing the product, now they can see me in action. What's behind scenes? People want to feel like they're a part of your business, a part of your story. How did it take to get there? Something that I may see that's not important in filming, people just look at it like, reality TV. We love reality TV because you can see the ins and the outs and the background stuff. So that's how I navigated in the dessert, the product, and then start making the content so people can see what takes into going into baking. Sorry.
All right, that's absolutely awesome. So you've narrowed down the customer profile, you put the aesthetics together in terms of the photography of it, and you really zeroed in and got to know the customer once. So that's really cool. And you mentioned something, once you started posting, and you were posting that on Instagram because you've grown a very big followership, right? Community. Once those others started rolling in, what's the processes that you have to put in place to make sure that you meet the customer where they are and you were able to fulfill those orders?
Scheduling, and managing.
Yes.
Because I was trying to do 5 things every single day. And once again, running myself dry. So something simple like you could, when I say this, because some people look at me like, what? I would check my emails every single day. And that was okay. But when I set a schedule of, okay, I'm doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it helped me because when I was checking it every day, that took time away from something else I could be doing. Yes. Where the customer, I set my email up to have automatic messaging to say, hey, I'm not here right now, but here's my menu options. And what are you interested in? And show me a picture if you have a cake order. So that made it easier for when I came 2 days later to an email, I know exactly what the customers want. Now we can have a conversation. Yes. Also with filming on the weekends, I will wake up on Saturday early, like 6 a.m., but I would plan out what I would look online, what's trending right now in desserts. And I will also Instagram, what am I seeing a lot of desserts? So I will write down, okay, these are the 4 that I am going to make, and I'm going to film myself making it. And then there I have content, 4 days worth of content, but with those 4 items, it's 4 days, but also I could do the in-betweens. Like, here's a picture of it. I'm going to show you the video tomorrow. So now I have 8 postings. So that's how I was able to batch that's called batching, when I film everything all together, and then I have content to post for the following. So therefore, I don't have to worry about having it every single day or doing it every day, because on Instagram and even on Facebook, you can, what's it called? Schedule your post. So yes, that helped so much, because every day I was going on Instagram like, okay, let me edit, let me do this, let me do that. And I'll be tired at the end of the day because I also work as well. I do not do this full time. So I work my regular job and I also do J. Carmel's. So I had to navigate and manage that time.
All right. So you mentioned, as you started posting on Instagram, where you have, a very big community that you've grown, a very big following, that, the others start coming in. So how did you manage this?
I managed that by scheduling. I had to schedule the orders in the sense of, when I check my email, okay, what's priority? Every single customer is priority, but what can I do? Once again, like I said, I would still have orders come in that said, I want this, but I could not do that. So you have to recognize your business and saying, can I actually do this or not? We try to do things that we can't, and be honest with yourself. So when I pick the customer, I navigate that. I say it started for 1 customer a week, and then it grew to 2 customers. Then it grew to 3. Then it grew to 4. Then it grew to 5, 6, 7, right? But how many realistically can I do? And therefore, I had to cut down in my scheduling. I could only do this bulk in a week, because realistically, that's what I can. It's not about the money right now. It's about what can I scale out to the customer. And side note, if you're too busy, do not hassle yourself in making that cake or making that product. If you can't, don't stretch yourself, because the customer realizes you're busy and they're like, oh man, she's booked. I can't get in. So I know that I'm going to have to book her like 3 months in advance. And that's what happened. I then had to change on my emails and let my customers know J. Carmel's only take orders 4 to 6 weeks in advance. And then that's when they realize, oh, this is a high demand. So right there, when I started doing that, not kidding, my first year, I remember making at least $15,000. And that was, it seemed small, but that was a lot for me, considering I was still working my other job. Where now, with baking, I have made up to $70,000 just by myself.
Absolutely amazing.
And that's all comes from managing and making your customer know the importance of scheduling and being high demand. But that also goes into the marketing part of it. And the best marketing is word of mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you took your small business and you scaled it up, which is awesome based on the needs in the market. Now, we're talking about marketing, and you do a lot of video marketing. In fact, you have a lot of fantastic videos. So what is the recipe for your great videos?
Being authentic. You can see when someone is, it's called, oh man, I forgot the word. God, I was trying to remember the word, but I forgot it. But authenticity. People want to know it's real. I started out posting my actual cakes, my custom cakes.
Yes.
And that started off a little slow. I mean, I still showed up though, because I'm like, no matter what, just show up, just keep posting it. And then one day I made a peach cobbler pound cake and I posted it. It went crazy. It went viral. Right now it has 3 million views.
Wow.
And that's when my followers started coming up. And I sat back and I was talking to my mom and I'm like, you know what? I post all these custom cakes that I take hours on, and they're cute and they're gorgeous. And I took my time on them. And this traditional pound cake took me 30 minutes and this went crazy. Like, come on. And my mom was like, well, I feel I can do that. I know I can't do a custom cake. Yes, I like looking at it, but I'm going to respond more to the traditional cake because that's easier access. I know I can do that if I try. And right there, it was a light bulb. I'm going to post both now. And that's honestly where the followers came, because I want to show the custom cakes that I've still spent hours on and do, but also my followers like the traditional one and they like, oh, it's easy to do. So let me start showing them the tutorials and stuff like that. So that's when I had to change. And this is what I was talking about. Read your audience, know your audience. What are they responding to more? I used to hear that all the time and I did not understand until my mom said that one simple thing to me that day.
And what do you like most about teaching others how to bake?
That is teachable, because I was in a place where I was afraid of the kitchen and I just decided, like I said, I was bored. So I was just like, let me just do it. The taste was phenomenal, but how to get to that point, I didn't know what I was doing. I just threw it together. So when I started watching the videos and the tutorials, I wasn't thinking to myself like, oh, this is going to be me one day. I was looking at it like, I'm learning from this person. This is good stuff. But then when I noticed my audience was like, what's the recipe? How did you do this? How did you do that? I'm like, okay. So now I'm that person that has to create this. So that's what I like the most, when people respond and like you were saying earlier, building that community and knowing what your community wants in that engagement. So that's the most I like of knowing, okay, I could be able to teach people something. So they're teaching me to teach them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I love that, you taught yourself how to bake. So when it came to the video making, what was your process? Did you know how to make video, or did you have to teach yourself how to make great videos?
I had to teach myself, and then I also everybody has to love YouTube University, because that's where you learn a lot of things from. And I would scroll social media a lot of times when I'm on social media right now. Yes, it's for entertainment sometimes, but a lot of times it's seeing content. How is this person filming? What angles are they looking at? So when I learned for myself, I would take videos, but I had to learn the sunlight coming in my window. Okay, if I face my camera this way, I could see more light coming this way. If I focus down and aim out, that gives a more dramatic look. So it takes my camera feed has so many videos. It's not even funny. I always have to get storage because I'm constantly just taking different angles to see what's best and what's visually appealing. Because you know what looks right, but it takes a lot of time. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Video making is definitely not easy, but once you learn it and you get it right, it becomes second nature. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
And what you're doing to spread joy into the world. Everybody loves their tummy, right? And good food. Right. So then you went and you wrote a book. Tell us why.
Because people were asking for recipes on Instagram. And on Instagram, you could just pin, your most liked post or whatever post you want. Yes. And I would pin the recipe and it's right there at the top. And they'll say, where's the recipe? And I'm like, it's right there. And so then I realized it was a demand in the sense of what can I create that people could just go right to it and it's not going to be difficult. A book. So that's when the ebook came to life. I can't believe I just said an ebook. I couldn't believe it. As I was making it, I'm like, Jasmine, is this even worth it? Are they going to even like it? Just respond. But that was the main thing. The demand of people, honestly, on my page and seeing the recipe right there, but they felt like they couldn't get right to it. So the ebook, that was when it was created. And I put the most viral recipes in the ebook and my favorite recipes.
Okay, so the book is called All Things Cake, Your Guide to Creating Cakes That Will Be the Life of the Party.
Yes, yes.
So what's your favorite recipe in this book? Because there's so many recipes.
Yes, I'm a brownie girl. So warm brownie with some walnuts and some ice cream all day. I can have that. So the brownie is my favorite. But when it comes to my followers, they love the pound cakes. And one, so those are in there: the peach cobbler pound cake, the pecan pound cake, and the vanilla pound cake.
And what are the desserts are in there?
So I have the brownie recipe, I have chocolate chip cookie recipe, cheesecake. Oh, and I'm trying to think what else. Oh my goodness. And lemon cake. Oh, a good lemon cake is just something about the nice tanginess to it is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I love a peppermint tea with a lemon cake.
Oh, that sounds so good. You make me hungry.
Maybe it's time for dessert.
Right. It's always time for dessert. It's always time.
So amazing, Jasmine. So you do a lot of different events. You bake a lot, right? Not only for individual customers, for large events. What is the difference between the two in your process and how you approach things?
So with custom orders, I freelance with those. People, if they have a theme, that makes it really easy to have a theme, and I draw the product out and know exactly what it's going to look like. Sometimes it changes. And then I start my cakes that way. With the catering, it's a la carte. So you buy it, different sections of the menu, which that's super easy. It's like, okay, you have peach cobbler cups, you have strawberry shortcake cups, you have chocolate mousse, and I know exactly that. And it's nice, neat, edged, and it's custom. I mean, that's custom as well, but it's a la carte, so it just makes it simple in order for delivering and just knowing exactly how much stuff I have with my custom cakes. Like I said, I could draw it, but then the day I'm making it, I could change my mind completely and say, oh, I didn't like that. Let me do something else. So something that I want to take an hour could take 3 hours just because I changed my mind or feeling differently about the order.
So you've left some spontaneity in there and some innovation, bringing out all of your creativity as well.
Yes, and then I always tell people when baking, I know you probably heard this before. It's like, oh, you could feel the love come out of it when you're baking. It's so true. If I'm not in the mood, every single time I haven't been in the mood, I've had to put it back in the refrigerator, walk away, take a minute, come back and start again and say, I got this. All right, let's do it. Where when I'm in a good mood, I could see the difference in the cake. You could just see it all over the cake, the happiness and the joy. But if it's not, I honestly put it up, don't come back to it, because I want Jasmine here completely in order to fulfill that order. With custom, with catering, it's the same thing. So no matter what, it's going to come out the same exact way.
It's interesting, when you talk about moods, right? So what do you do to reset? You have a big order coming in and you have a deadline and, it has to get out of the door, right? And you may not be feeling as creative because we know as creators, it's not every single moment of the day that we're creative, right? So what do you do to reset your entire being in order to get you into that creativity mode?
I go to my couch and I lay down and close my eyes and just breathe and just tell myself, okay, you got this. You're made for this. You wanted to do this. And give myself words of affirmation, but then also I put on my music and crank it on high. Earlier we were talking about Kirk Franklin. I'm gonna put on some Kirk Franklin because he makes me hype. And I put it up loud and I start dancing and just get myself energized. And it always works better because, like you said, we're not creative all the time. It's not, but we have joy, but we're not always happy or excited to do something. So, but when you hear your favorite song or when you speak positivity to yourself, it just enlightens everything. And I have to do that on a daily basis.
I love that you mentioned Kirk Franklin because I myself love the song Stump. When I hear that song, I want to dance and jump. What's your favorite from Kirk Franklin?
My all-time favorite is Hosanna. I mean, I love songs, but Hosanna, I put that on every single morning. I start my day in the car. My kids is like, oh, here she goes. But that's what gets me hyped every single day. No matter what, put it on. Let's go. I'm about to take over the day. All negativity, let's get out the door. Put Hosanna on because he starts off, let's make some Holy Ghost crazy noise right now. Okay, we about to get crazy. We about to jam. We about to jam out. It's never fails. I'm about to play it when we're done with this podcast.
All right. So, what is one tool in your toolbox that you make sure you have in any of your projects that you're working on?
A spatula. It's a little flat spatula. I've
Yes.
learned that I have to have it no matter what. One time I made a cake. I went to the venue and the cake kind of pivot and the bottom was cracked and I did not have it on me. I freaked out. And
All
from that
right.
on, I was like, that spatula is coming with me everywhere I go. In that moment, I was able to make something work with it. I was able to smooth it over. But after that, no, you'll never catch me slipping ever again.
So you take that spatula every event.
Every event. And in my car, I have a Ziploc bag with gloves, three spatulas, and like this gold leaf. You know, have your 24 karat gold leaf that you put on thing? I have
Yes.
it. I have it in my car. It does not leave. And if I use it, I take it out, I wash it, and I put it back in my car because I always get a little anxious thinking I'm going to forget it.
All right. Well, that's awesome. That's good to know that. You know, we as women, we have all kinds of things in our purses, but a spatula, that's the first time for me I've heard that. So that's awesome.
That is so funny.
But coming from a baker, I'm not surprised because you've got your tools, right?
Yes, I was going to say we have everything. I'm that person that all the time, like, do you have this? You have everything all the time. And it's funny. I would never think I would have a spatula, but yes, I do. I have it in my car.
All right. So let's pivot and talk about social media. You have a big following on Instagram, over 65K followers. When you first started, I imagine you had one or two followers and then your following grew, as you alluded to. So what did you do in the beginning? And how have things changed since you started in that space that is Instagram?
In the beginning of Instagram, all the way in 2011, I wasn't doing cake. So it was just a personal page. And
Yes.
once I started baking and started posting my desserts, I kind of navigated away from the personal. I put that in my stories. So anything personally about me, it's on my stories. But if you go to my feed, all you see is food. Last year, I had 2,000 followers, right? And I was like, I just want to have 10,000 followers. I just want to get there because when you have 10,000, you could get monetization, brands, and everything like that. And that's when I posted the peach cobbler pound cake. So you guys can see the peach cobbler pound cake was last year in July or August, and I only had 2,000. Right now, I have 66,000, and it is. Wait, I was about to say February. It's the end of March. So that little short span of time, it changed overnight. Literally, I posted the peach cobbler pound cake, and the cake was done, and all I did was show me cutting into it, and the cake was all pretty, and the cut and coming up, and you could see the steam coming up, and it went crazy.
Wow.
So right there, I noticed that people like the indulging and just the cake speaking to them in it of the presentation. So after that, I stopped posting kind of aimlessly. That's what I was going to say. Before I felt like I was just posting my dessert. Oh, look at me. Look what I just made. Where now my food tells a story and what I'm making. And after that, once people started asking for the recipes, that's when I turned into, okay, here's the how-to do it. Instagram changes all day, every day. One day their videos is the high thing. Then the next photos are the high thing. Then they took away photos being a high thing. Now let's do reels, 15 seconds to captivate the audience. Social media is up and down, but you have to be ready to be that chameleon and learn back and forth. Okay, can I change? Can I do this? Can I do that? And I think it's the same with, podcasts or just anything. What is most popular right now? And can I navigate that? Because you don't want, I don't want personally Instagram to be the only thing that I'm following on. So what else can it be? So that's when I had to sell my stuff on Instagram as well. And have the actual click value of, this is my menu option. Now it sells too. So social media has a lot of stuff on it, but when it came to video, that was the main thing.
So when did it become, as you mentioned, you went from 2,000 followers to now 66,000 followers. You changed the way you post. You started posting with intention, telling a story. When did you activate that online store through Instagram? When did you know that was the right time to do that?
Truthfully, I never knew when the right time was.
Okay, so you're experimenting and it's working.
We can hold ourselves up. And the same with the ebook. I could have done the ebook a long time ago. I know I could have, but it was the demand of the product of, okay, I need this recipe. And I was responding to every single person. So it's just like, this is too much. So I had to create an ebook. And then when it came to selling on Instagram, oh, how can I buy this? How do you ship? Can you do this? So, okay, I'm going to make it easier for you. Here's the link where you could just click and you could purchase it locally right now. I'm working on shipment, by the way, outside of Michigan. But it was that demand factor again of looking at the comments. So that's when I decided to pivot. Okay, if you click this, you go straight to my contact list and it will be at your door, or you could come pick it up or what have you.
That's amazing. You went from 2,000 followers to now 66,000 plus followers within a span of 12 months. So how did you know when it was time to really optimize and, have customers ordering through or connecting through Instagram to be able for you to fulfill their orders?
It was the demand. Same with the ebook when they were asking, where can I find the recipe? It was then, where can I order? And I was responding to every single message. So then I created the link to my contact page, but right now it's only local. I am working on shipment, but it was the demand of showing, okay, I want this product, so how can I get it? Every day in entrepreneurship, you're experimenting. I was not sure. I was afraid that once I posted, if you click this link, that I wasn't going to be able to handle it, but I did it. And I navigate as time goes by. It's an experiment every single day with me. And you're just learning each day, okay, this works or this does not work.
I love it. I love it. How you're just taking things one step at a time. You're diving right in. You're doing trials. You're seeing how it works. You're iterating and you're making it better and better. That's absolutely awesome. And you're growing your business at your own pace, of course, responding to customer demand. That's absolutely amazing. So for people who are looking at getting into the entrepreneurial space, getting into the food space without any background in that at all, apart from tasting and drinking, what advice would you have for them?
Just do it. Do it. Don't be afraid. I would say also, if you don't take the first step, how are you going to know? That's it. Just do it. Just do it. What's going to happen? If you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. If you do it, what's going to happen? You never know. So every day I just do it, because perfect thing with baking or even podcasts or just anything being an entrepreneur. One decision I had to make was, do I get employees or do I get a PR?
Mm-hmm.
And I got a PR because I felt like for my business, that was good at the moment of getting my brand name out there, getting J. Carmel's out there. Best decision I ever made in my life. I was afraid, but when I did it, I would never regret that decision ever again, because I wouldn't have met you if I didn't have a good PR. But also it just taught me about my business and the importance of marketing, the importance of getting your name out there. And you can't do everything on your own.
Of course, of course. And I'm happy to meet you as well.
Thank you.
And we know that, you have a daughter and you're managing this business and it's growing and it's scaling. And at some point, you're going to reach that 100K mark where you have to make a vital decision. So currently, how do you balance work and home life as a mom?
So time management, that's all. During the week, I'm with my kids. I actually have 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son and my husband. And during the week when school, work, homework, cook, right? And then when they go to bed, it's all J. Carmel's. You would think it's mommy time, but it's all J. Carmel's because I wanted to make sure they have my undivided attention with anything that I have. And then on Fridays, it's my pickup days, or Saturday morning, because the rest of the day or the weekend I want to enjoy. When I was in retail, I did not enjoy holidays or weekends. I had to enjoy them at work. And I said, if I ever to leave retail, I want to be able to be there on the weekends and for holiday. So no matter what, you would think, oh yes, J. Carmel's has to be open. No, that's one thing too. I make sure Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, I'm not baking at all. You're going to have to pick up your order 2 days beforehand so I could be there for my family.
Oh, I love this. You're present for the family, no matter what. And I love that you've had that previous experience working in retail where really there was no choice. You had to work on those days, and now you can choose your schedule, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And and I think it's important, for your kids, and just seeing with my kids with baking, they're able to help me. So like I'm like, oh, mix this and that. So I just get them involved in it. When it comes to decorating, no, absolutely not. I'm like, it's time for mommy to concentrate on this if I do have an order. But just so they're interested and just that we're doing something together. But I made a strict plan because when I was running myself dry at the beginning, I did do those orders. I was available for the customers. And then I realized I wasn't having time for them. And I said I would never let that happen. That's the reason why J. Carmel's and my kids that I left retail. So when I started seeing that, I'm like, you got to change. You have to pivot. And this is what we've been talking about with entrepreneurship. You have to realize the demand of the area in your personal life and your business life, and what can you do to make sure that demand is being met.
Setting boundaries.
Oh, I am a boundaries queen. I have boundaries everywhere, but I learned that in my previous life with retail.
So, are there any great books that you enjoy?
I just finished reading Sarah Jake's Women Evolve. It's about fear, and sometimes we could realize we don't even have fear. It's the little quiet fears. We've been talking about it the whole time. Just do it, and I read it and it really made me realize that I had a little fear. Like, I'm a very confident person. For my family, we're very competitive, always have been. And when I became an entrepreneur, I realized I had a little fear. And that book just taught me how to navigate that and just to recognize it and what to do in the cases. Like we were talking about the fear and listen to music and motivate you. Those are little fears like, oh yeah, I'm not having a good day. But why am I not having a good day? It's because I'm fearful that this cake was not coming out properly. So I had to put it down and take a break and give my words, myself words of affirmation. And once you recognize what your fear is, you're able to attack it easier and know that you overcome that.
Interesting. And we talk about music that you enjoy, right? Mr. Williams, Hosanna, right?
Yes. Kirk Franklin with Hosanna. If by my book selection and by my music selection, you can see I'm very church girl, big church girl. So that's also like the foundation of what I do, and just having that faith of, just being positive and just trying best to navigate that.
But thanks for sharing that book. And of course, your music, you alluded to it already, Mr. Franklin, right?
Yes. So listening to that, just staying motivated and just being positive with those books, those two combinations together just shows that like straight positivity in your life. Anytime, anybody that's listening, you're going to have negativity come your way every single day, but it's about how you navigate that and just being positive. Don't think about it. It's hard to say that, but no, don't think about it. If it's negative, it's not good. Just what can I do? Take that negative thing and say, hey, okay, this is not good right now, but what can I do to make it better? It's always a solution to the problem. So those books and those songs help me every single time.
All right. So we've talked about a lot of things, Jasmine, but we're come to the time when we got to wind this down. I really love that you shared your love for baking. You shared, just your creativity and your ability to dive in and learn. And then you take those learning and now you're teaching others. That is amazing.
Yes. Thank you. When I hear it, it's like, I can't believe this is happening.
All right. So, last words of wisdom for our audience. What would you like them to remember when they think Jasmine Mitchel?
I would like them to think that you are the life of the party. I know it sounds cliche because it's the book, but no matter what, when you step in the room, you are the life of the party. Don't think you're less than. You're capable of doing anything. I was a retail manager, turned into a home baker, and turned it into a business. It's possible. Take your time, be patient, but just know that you're capable of doing all things.
Right on. Listeners, Jasmine Mitchel.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed my time today.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on to spread those golden nuggets to our listeners. All right.